tissue massage today. I know you've been running and jogging and doing all kinds of sports, so you prefer deep tissue work, right?
Uh-huh.
Okay,
Yes.
good. Are there any areas that I need to be cautious of? Injuries?
Left hamstring, left hip.
Okay. Anything else?
No, I'm sure you'll
No.
find something.
Okay, great. Okay, good. So let's go ahead and begin. I'm just doing a deep effleurage to spread the oil all the way up and around the head of the femur. Okay, we're going to do knuckling. This is body weight in, gentle over the back of the knee, around the hip, and down. Scraping like this here. Okay. Do that one more time. Deeper. On the hamstrings, ischial tuberosity, around the head of the femur. Okay, now we're going to do a forearm effleurage. And this is with body weight, right angle. Lunge into it around the hip. How's that pressure?
Good.
Good. Okay, we can do arm saws. Keep that 90-degree angle. Ischial tuberosity, friction with the elbow, stretch the heel of the foot. Okay, continue with the elbow up the small lateral rotators, gemellus, piriformis, gluteal maximus, medius, and tensor fasciae latae. Okay, we will repeat that one more time. An arm saw, anchoring the foot down. Forearm glide. Ischial tuberosity. Elbow into the glutes, lateral rotators, and on. Okay. Now we will go ahead, lift the foot up, do a gentle rocking, shaking, do a little figure eight with the ankle, stretch, toes down to stretch the Achilles tendon, gastroc, doing a press and stretch, soft tissue release, this is also known as. Okay, and then you can put a cover over you to protect your clothes from the oil. Lift the gastrocs up, separating them, and stretching out. Gastrocs up, separating, stretching out. Do a ring. From here, you do another longitudinal with the knuckles up to the ischial tuberosity. This is more in a counter strength, so it's a little bit easier on the muscle. You can also do a firmer to the iliotibial band. Okay, from here, we're going to do a fist into the lateral rotators. And I actually have the tip of my knuckles pressing into the lateral rotators, feeling for any tight ones so that I can focus on them. I feel one right there, so I'm going to lay the foot down, press in, and do some friction until I feel it release. Around, and now I'm also doing a friction to the glute maximus, minimus, medius, TFL, and around. From this position, it's a nice position to also do a longitudinal down the peroneus longus. Add a stretch, and the tibialis anterior. Okay, from here, you can lift and bring the sheet with you. Rock the leg so that it's in a comfortable position. This is actually counter straining the hip. You can even push further with the knee to counter strain further to do a bear claw. Okay. Friction where the muscles meet the sacrum. Okay, a little bit more rocking. stretch, longitudinal, and back down. Okay, now we're going to go to the other side and repeat the procedure. We're going to repeat some of those moves that we did on the other side. Balance out this leg. The decouplerage, body weight in, the knuckling. And I can feel that tight hamstring as I go across. And the femur. Again, a little bit more pressure this time. Gliding over the back of the knee. Hitting the ischial tuberosity. And all the way around, a little closer to the sacrum that time. This time we're going to do a forearm effleurage. Make sure it's a 90-degree angle. Around the head. Okay. We have the arm saws. You can do left or right arm. It's up to you. You can do both. Bring it all the way up into the hip. Ischial tuberosity. Stretch. Heel away from you. Bring up. Separate the gastrocs. Achilles tendon. Do a little jostling. Rotation of the ankle. Lift. Rotate. Stretch. And move on into the bringing it out to the side and doing a little rocking to get that comfortable position for the knee out. Okay, you can counter strain by pushing the knee in. And I can tell by her leg not holding down that the peroneus longus needs a little bit of work. So I'm going to do a longitudinal with the knuckles down. And tibialis anterior, work around, and her adductors are also very tight on this side, which is causing that to lift up. That's a little bit better. We're going to do the bear claw. And her tensor fasciae lata, gluteus medius. Very tight and restricted. You can do some push-pulls on that to help release that. We are going to work that again a little bit later. Iliotibial band, friction. And we're going to do an IT band stretch for this leg because it is so tight. So I'm going to take the leg, stretch it over to the other side. And you can do a P and F if you choose. Would you like to do that?
Sure.
Okay. Resist here. 30% and breathe. And relax. Relax. That's it. Oh, that does feel much better. Okay, now we're going to check for leg length. After working both legs and hips, we're going to see if one leg is still shorter than the other by putting, okay, we're going to check the leg length. Put the middle finger above the malleoli and see where they come together. And you can see that this leg is now the short leg. This leg is longer than the other. So with the bowstring or the blocks, the bolster goes under the ASIS of the long leg, which is this side. So you just lift up at the hip, put it under the ASIS, simple as that. And then under the head of the femur of the shorter leg. Okay, that's good. All right, and you just let it stay there for a couple of minutes or while you're doing the rest of the work for the back. Okay, from the back. Deep tissue for the back. Spread the oil, of course. Let's do that with some primering. Get a nice rack going in the body. A bit more oil up here. Do phalange at the iliac. Do a little stretch. I'm reaching down to the ASIS and curling my fingers under the iliac crest to get a nice flow. Then you can repeat that from the side that you're on just by using your thumbs to the sacrum. Okay, so we did femoral phalange. Next we're going to do arm saw. We're going to start the arm saw below the iliac crest. Keep that 90-degree angle and lunge. We're going to do the whole back. You can do both arms if you choose. Start of the scapula. Take it again below the iliac crest. We can do some general forearm moves, a little traction on the sacrum. Stretch with the elbow pressure. Both sides. A nice stretch on. You can feel the traction from the sacrum to the other arm. Okay, some other forearm moves. You're gliding in the latissimus dorsi. You can actually feel the muscles on your elbow, pressing them in. Okay, we can repeat that on the other side too, but we're going to move right on in to the rock, where we take the elbow below iliac and the elbow into the teres and rock. Okay. Get a good body flow with that one. Okay. We're going to check out the scapula, move it north-south, east-west, see where it's restricted, and work the restricted muscles. With her, it seems to be supraspinatus, so we're going to go in there in friction. Okay. Next, with rhomboids, you can bring the arm up for cleaning the wing. You can actually do both wings at the same time if you choose, and if that's comfortable for the receiver. Doing a back and forth friction with the knuckles. People usually really like this move. You can make it as long and as high as you want. Okay, we got some good blood flow with that one. So we've worked the rhomboids, middle traps, supraspinatus. Next we can get into more of the shoulder work. I'm going to take my cover my clothes so I don't get any oil on them. My middle finger is going to go down to her sternum, where the sternum and the clavicle sweep the pecs towards you. Moving on into the deltoids, like good kneading for the deltoids and the triceps. Let's repeat that. Sweep. I'm going across anterior deltoid, middle, and kneading the posterior. And you can take that a little bit further, okay, with a torque, using your forearm on the same side as you're pulling the shoulder down. With the torque, you're pushing everything up with your forearm. Okay. Good. You know, this is also a great position to get more of the teres, the subscapularis, serratus anterior. All right, from here we're going to take the arm above the head, rock the arm. I'm going to use knuckles on levator supraspinatus, working from the neck all the way down to the acromion process. Okay. From there, I'm going to move the arm a little bit and knuckle on down the vertebrae. Lamina groove. Switch hands. A little bit more rocking and a deep sweep, hooking on to the iliac and stretching. Okay. It's okay if you leave the arm down if you want to work, if the upper traps need more work, if they're really tight, to get in there and do some friction and some kneading. From here, you can bring the arm up for anterior deltoid stretch. Go for that end feel. Okay. And you can do a little bit of arm work from this position too. Spread some oil. Fist twist. A couple of fist twists following the thenar eminence, because that's where many people get very tight. Knuckle sweeps up, avoiding, of course, the bony landmarks. Forearm. Hook in. You can go around, down, forearm. Okay. Okay, we can do a little bit of back work from here. We can friction the lamina groove. Make sure you get in there to get those intrinsic muscles really deep. You can feel if someone has any subluxations this way. After this one, we're going to move on into circling the spinous processes, as in the movements that you learned for chiropractic massage. Get a little hyperemia action here. You have the serpentine, like a snake. You have the hand friction, which actually shows you if there's any myofascial restrictions, which on Miss Penny here, there's a little bit in the lower back, but everything else seems to be fine. Okay, you have a hand wave for some vibration. A couple other vibrations. This is V vibration. And with the middle finger on the spinous processes, the other hand is hitting for vibration. You can even see your head moving up and down with this one. Okay. Friction erectors can be done with fingers or knuckles. Good. Now we can repeat the process on the other side. Okay. From this side, we're going to start working with the glides again, protecting your body with the towel. Sweep, pecs, elbow up. One more time. Sweep, deltoids, triceps, serratus, subscap, rock, friction the supra and the upper traps when you're in counter strain, and then sweep down, stretch, stretch using your body weight. Do that with knuckles. Okay, arm up to stretch the anterior deltoid. Great stretch. Bring it down. So we're going to go ahead and pull out this bolstering now. This twist. Authorized. Effleurage and forearm effleurage. Okay. Okay, how's this feeling so far?
Oh, fine.
Good. Okay, we're going to do some S moves. With these S moves, you can start at the head or down at the lumbar, one at a time. Each spinous process on the lateral side, encouraging it to release and let go. If you find any subluxes, which it feels like we might have one right here, she has some stringy bands. We're going to finish this move and then go back and do some respindling. Okay, with the push-pulls. Skin rolling. And more S moves. And vibrate it. Okay, there's, again, you can end with skin rolling if the client is okay with that. Ask if their fascia is restricted. Okay. Let's start with some general kneading of the neck to get it nice and relaxed. Checking out her range of motion, getting a feel for how far she can go over comfortably. Okay. You can do a melt down where you bring your fingers all the way down to T7 and on up the neck. Notice that the chin comes up in the air for this one. Okay, friction the neck muscles, all of them from the SCM all the way back. That's what I'm doing. Feeling for any tight muscles, at which point I could choose to stop and do a trigger point. Okay, repeat the process on the other side. Okay, another palmar sweep all the way down using your palms. All right, now we're going to move on into the S moves. Starting at C2, pressing into the lateral side of each of the vertebrae. And as you can see, hers are pretty loose. She moves really freely. Okay, we can move on into a counter strain where we actually use the thumb into the lateral spinous process, counter strain, so that her head is gently going into my thumb. And again, these are working all those interspinalis muscles. Repeat on the other side. Now we're going to do the Egyptian move, where both middle fingers are moving the spinous processes of the cervical vertebrae at the same time, so her head's going side to side. This helps, again, release some of the other interspinalis muscles. Okay. You could choose to do the shiatsu moves next, where the thumb and the forefinger are in the lamina groove. Chin comes up high. Gently resting the head into the palm at the end. Now, some people's necks are so tight that this is difficult to do. So you just go to their comfort level. Penny's very flexible, so this is no problem. This is also a good time to do occipital release if you were doing that move. With fingers pointing towards the opposite eyes. Tell them to take some slow, deep breaths. And feel them slowly release. This move will take sometimes up to 2-3 minutes. So just be patient. Stay with it because it's a very powerful move. It comes from craniosacral work. Good. Now we're going to get the pillow prop to work her neck at a flexion. Okay. Comfortable for you, Penny?
Yes.
Okay, good. Again, some general kneadings to get into the sweeps, knuckle sweeps towards your acromion process and down towards the table. A little bit more lateral stretch for both of those moves. You can work the SCM from here. Now repeat on the other side. Same thing I did there. Knuckles out towards the shoulder and knuckles down towards the table. That gets different muscles in the shoulder and neck. Okay. And from here, we can do some more frictions if needed, especially in any areas that you found the trigger points. And the SCM. And stretch. Now we're going to do the STRs.